This one unit was giving us with older Sonos systems when there are. Hey, how's it going today? Seth with Air Theater Designs, and we're here to ask the question and answer the question, why buy KEF speakers, right? So, as you might notice, I've got a little Alien Nation face going today. Before, after, before, after. You may remember Alien Nation, great alien flick from, I don't remember what it was, James Caan, 89, 93, somewhere in there. But don't be frightened. No need to call 911 or whatever. It's all good. But what is also good are KEF speakers. And there are various lines of speakers, subwoofers, architectural models, and some other doodads that they've got. Today we're going to have just a generalization on the line. If you're looking for specifics, if you go to our YouTube page, which you're probably at our YouTube page right now, you will see some reviews that we've done where we go into specifics on the Q11 metas, on some Q950s, on some R3 metas, some of their other lines. So, but anyways, today we're going to hit on kind of two things. The sound characteristic that you're going to hear with KEF and some of what we'll call their aces, and then also the design and utility. And some of this kind of goes over why we brought in the KEF line. So first we'll talk about what we're calling the aces. So I don't know, let's take the band Kajagoogoo. 1983, the song Too Shy hit the charts. Everybody was listening to Too Shy. Now, the album is absolutely horrendous, but you might have bought the album just for Too Shy. Actually, you know, Kajagoogoo is horrible. Let's not take Kajagoogoo. That's a horrible band. But let's take the band Ambrosia. Ambrosia, from the 70s, they had just crazy hits that, you know, you listen to it 50 plus years later. It's like, that's a great song. How Much I Feel, Biggest Part of Me, You're the Only Woman. Those are all total jams, right? KEF, and here's a long-winded analogy coming up. KEF, they've got some stuff that, it's okay. It's marginal. They've got some other things, though, that we call the aces that are really spectacular products. Kind of like an Ambrosia. You don't buy the essentials, which is the best of the Ambrosia, to listen to all of the songs, because 5 of them are pretty marginal, but those 3 I just mentioned are insane. KEF has some things like their KC62 and their KC92, which are these kind of little tiny powerhouse subwoofers. They get an incredible amount of bass out of just this little box. They work great in cabinets and other things. They're really pretty, so they've got nice looking cabinets. You can have them out in the open. It doesn't look like just a nondescript black box. They absolutely rock. That was one of the things when we looked at KEF, we're like, God, these subs are so good. Let's bring them in. They have what they call their Meta series line of speakers, and their upper line Meta stuff sounds just incredibly good, really natural. Just speaker kind of peels away and you just hear the music. You gotta have the right amplification for it, but they sound really good. We had the Q950s here a little bit ago. They were some of KEF's larger speakers, now discontinued, but one of our guys, Mark, actually bought a pair of those. He could buy any speaker he wanted, and he loved them. Super detailed, a little more detailed than the normal KEFs are. Just a lot of bass, a lot of speaker for the money. The sound characteristic, so those are the aces, right? Sound characteristic of KEF, they are a very neutral or flat sounding speaker. And certain people that's good for. So for example, if you know that you're not into harsh or bright sounds, you have tinnitus, you've listened to speakers before, and after an hour or so, you're like, man, it's just a little bright. I'm not enjoying listening to these things. Or if you've got a room where there's a lot of live surfaces, let's say really high ceilings, you've got tile floors, you got glass all over the place, that's where a neutral sounding speaker is a good thing. So you may not know if you are a flat speaker guy or not, right? But with this information, you could listen to KEF to another brand and knowing like, oh, okay, it's kind of this neutral flat sound. Compare it to something else and see if you are neutral speaker guy, or if you're a brighter speaker guy, or if your room details that as well. One thing you also see with KEF is that they have most of their speakers a very wide dispersion. Good thing about wide dispersion, you'll see some YouTube videos that tell you they're not wide dispersion, but they are. If you have, let's say, couches or seats that are way over on other sides of the room, right? A lot of speakers, that sound and volume really drops off when you come away from that center listening area. The KEF stuff, you can be off to the left, off to the right, lie on the floor, whatever. You don't have issues hearing what's going on or having a drop in volume. Where a lot of other brands out there, you have very limited vertical and horizontal dispersion as opposed to being wide. So that's another reason that you might want to opt for KEF. Second thing with KEF, that was kind of a 1A, 1B, but second thing with KEF is kind of their design and utility. So lots of speakers. Before I mentioned the nondescript black box, right? You might not want a nondescript black box. So check this dude out. Talking about, this is actually a design and utility thing. This is the LSX2. Look at this beautiful thing. Now this is a stand that it comes with, but if you don't like stand, you can just use these guys. Look at this action. I don't know if it's going to come out on there, but look at that custom wrap around this thing, cloth wrap. Pretty unique, right? So, I don't know, you live at the beach, you got some things that are blue. You're like, I don't want a black box. I want something like this. These things are beautiful, and design is important. We have a client who's a professional musician. He had a red gloss piano. So for Bill, he might say, I don't want a black box on top of my piano. I want to go these gloss red KEFs because they make gloss speakers. That's pretty cool. The utility, lots of manufacturers don't make a powered speaker. So you have to add electronics to make that happen, right? These guys here, and they have other options there, a powered speaker. So we had a job we just did with these in a gloss white. Client had a downtown high-rise, real clean look, pretty much all white, and they had a little landing that went around the windows. So we took one of these guys in white, this guy in white, put them on the far sides. All they need is power. KEF also, talking about utility and design, because the thing's beautiful, they have this thin subwoofer. So we were able to do that gloss white thin subwoofer against this landing, these guys on either side, and then they had amazing sound out of just a little package. Now, dollar for dollar, big speakers sound best, but you know, putting human-sized speakers into place, it just wouldn't work, and you'd need the electronics to go with it. This is a great option. Talking about design and great sound, KEF, and talking about human-sized speakers. They make these things called the Blades. They kind of look like in the movie Contact at the big alien ship. And we're talking about aliens a lot today. They kind of look like that, and they come in different colors, and they're very unique. Definitely a noticeable design element of your house if you've got those things in there. They make a lot of things where the sound is great, but the design is important as well. So design and utility, they've got some stuff that is different than you find with other manufacturers out there. That's another reason to maybe go with KEF. So that's why we went with KEF as a company. If you are in the San Diego or Southern California area, we'd love to help you with KEF. If you're not, but this information is helpful, please go in, take a look at the links we have in the description. You buy it through there, you don't pay any more, but you know, we get $1 or $2 so we can go out to lunch or add products to our floor because we don't get this stuff for free. Appreciate you stopping by. Have a great day. Go KEF.